Hey guys, it's Sarumonin. With the brand new Fist of Justice update on TERA Console comes Antaroth Abyss, so I'll dive right into it and we'll cover the special attacks and mechanics of the bosses in normal mode. As for hard mode, we'll cover it later this week or next week once players have gotten used to normal mode. So first off, Kergoff. So before beginning anything, you'll notice that he'll target a player that will drop an ice patch. This ice patch is particularly important for when he does your flesh will be deleted mechanic. You're gonna need it. So as you can see, he's going to do the mechanic and you need to iframe the explosion, otherwise he will knock you into the air and then he's going to target any random player that's in the air already, which could be you, with a fire laser. Now if everyone actually iframes this, there's a chance it's going to go just directly to the healer, so the healer needs to go into the ice patch. Now like I said, if you did iframe correctly, you'll need to head over and lie inside of the ice patch like I mentioned before, and when he does his fire breath on you, and again you should only get inside the ice patch if he's going to aim the fire breath at you, then yeah, once he does that you're going to live. If not, you're probably going to die. Now there's three versions of the big AoE that he does. He's going to raise his shield to the heavens, and he'll either do the big AoE, which you should then iframe, followed by the inner AoE, then the outer when he's enraged. Otherwise, if he's not enraged, that means his bar is not red or anything like that, he's going to do the big AoE, which you want to iframe, then he's going to do outer, then inner, so you want to go inside, then out. So again, when he's enraged, iframe, stay outside, then go inside. If he's not enraged, iframe, stay inside, then go outside. The other in-out mechanic that he does is going to be either backstep or not backstep. If he backsteps, he's going to do that basically, and he's going to raise his mount and he's going to do an outer AoE followed by an inner AoE. If he doesn't do a backstep, he's going to do an inner AoE, then an outer AoE. This guy is basically just full of AoEs. Finally, there's the double AoE. I just mentioned that there's a lot of AoEs. Every party member will basically get an AoE. Now you can either stay away from each other altogether, or you can have all the DPS and the healers stand together while the tank goes into another direction completely and doesn't actually go all together. Now you can stay all together, but it's probably going to mess up the rotation, so that's just something to keep in mind. Now there will be an initial explosion like this, and then you're going to need to iframe the second one, and that's pretty much just it for that. The rest is just repetition. Now on to Kergoff. Now for this boss, I'll explain the main mechanics first, so you'll know what to do just in case, but just to explain quickly, if it says sacrificial target selected, when he turns blue, there will be an outer AoE. If he turns red, there will be an inner AoE. Now getting hit by the AoE grants you a debuff, much like Lacalus Fate or Decurion's target for example. So prior to starting the actual boss to begin with, I recommend you guys communicating what order you want to do this in. For example, for my group, I said that I would get the debuff first, and then someone else would get it, and then so on and so forth, and then finally back to me. So he's going to do either the blue or the red AoE. So I'm going to take the AoE on purpose, and the rest of the group will avoid it. Afterwards, when it happens again, the next player will take the debuff on purpose and the rest of the group, and I will avoid it. There's enough time to do it in rotation that the tank does not need to do it, but if the tank wants to do it, it's fine. The debuff doesn't give you a bleed or anything like that, so that's completely fine, but you don't really need to. There should be enough time. So another note is, if I took the debuff already and went to get it again, I would die. If no one takes the debuff, like everyone just gets out of the debuff whatsoever, the whole group will die and it'll wipe the whole party. So hopefully that makes sense. Kind of made that as simple as I could to make that make sense, so hopefully that makes sense. So the rest of the special mechanics are just iframeable. For example, the circle donut mechanics, stay away from each other, iframe out of the explosion and then go inside under the boss, and if you get hit by it, a healer can just cleanse you because you're just going to be stunned. Also, when the boss slams his swords into the ground, just iframe out of it, you can just cleanse the stun, and the rest of the skills are just iframeable and cleansable, like his sword tornado or his random wave on players. Now finally, Antaroth. What you need to know is that every major attack that he does, like his thrust, his spin, his jump smash, when he slams his sword on the ground to stun you, when he throws his blue balls at you,
He said blue balls.
they all give you a mana burst debuff. Now it can stack up to 5 times, and per debuff that you get, you'll get a 4% more damage intake. So that means he hits you for 4% more. If you get 5 debuff stacks, you get 20%. You're going to be hurt more. Now this is important to know because when he does dispersing collected mana, which he's going to do over time, all the time, he will hurt you for 30,000 flat damage per stack. So if you have 5 debuff stacks, you will lose 150,000 HP. Most of you will die. Now, to know how many stacks you have, you'll see a timer till they disappear. There's going to be a 1 through 5 number to know how many stacks you have. Now, the only way to cleanse this debuff stack is through doing the actual dispersing collected mana mechanic that I just mentioned. And when he does this, it's also going to apply a MP reducing debuff where healers are going to have to cleanse quickly. Otherwise, you'll notice that there's a huge loss of MP over time, and MP means mana points, so you need that, especially if you're a tank. You're gonna need that. Now, this is pretty important, and I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. So for his red magic ability, he's going to thrust at the tank, okay, which is blockable and iframeable. Followed by, he's going to start spinning either clockwise or counterclockwise. It's just gonna do this once, and then he's gonna swipe into either direction. Now, you'll notice where he's going to swipe based on where the sword starts. This is important because he will swipe towards a direction about 33 meters. So you can just run away like me, because I mean, I don't need to be that close to the boss anyways. But if you notice that the sword starts to his left, he will spin clockwise and do a swipe to the left of the arena. If he starts on the right, you'll notice that the spin will start clockwise and do a swipe to the right of the arena. Now, this is important because you need to know where he's going to swipe. You can iframe that 360 spin, but right after he does it, he's going to swipe, so you want to make sure you're iframing into the opposite side of where he's swiping, otherwise you're most likely going to die. So at some point, he's going to stop. Now, the best way I can explain it is that if it looks like he's grabbing the sword like a baseball bat, that means he's going to do it towards that side. So for example, to his right. If it looks like he's going to bitch slap you, for example, then it's going to go to the left. There are no red indicators as of this moment, so you'll have to actually read this. It's going to take you some time, but hopefully by me slowing this down, you will have kind of noticed. Now, at some point, he will stop and throw swords into another universe and rise. He's going to summon puddles around the arena, 3 to be specific, and expand similar to the Orange Dragon and Harrowhold Phase 1. Now, the closer that you are to the boss, it doesn't reach all the way to the boss, so you're going to be fine, but you can also just iframe into them as long as they're not overlapping one another, or you can just outrun them. Now, the important mechanic that will happen all the time, the light and dark mechanic. Now, when he says
enter your final words now,
5 orbs will appear around the edge of the room, although it's not really an edge because it's a circle, so around the circle, but whatever wording. It's going to be 3 light, 2 dark. This is enough for the entire party because all players in the party will receive a debuff under their buff bar. It's going to be either white or black around 10 seconds or so. Now, if it's white, you need to destroy the black ball with the white outline around it or white fog. If it's black, you need to destroy the white ball with a black fog around it or outline. The best way to explain this for me is if you have white, look for the white fog ball where inside of it it's black. If you have black, look for the black fog ball where inside of it is white. So I recommend hitting these balls a little bit if you're a healer because they will take a lot of damage, and if you break them beforehand, you're gonna die. So you need to break them right before the words complete around the ritual under Antaroth, similar to Vault of Caprima in the last boss where you see the ritual kind of finishing before he explodes and does a wipe, but you can iframe it, similar to that. So you'll notice that underneath them is going to do a symbol of some kind. The blue will fill up, and after the blue fills up, there's going to be orange letters that are going to complete, and once they complete, it does a white mechanic. So once those orange letters start to show up and almost complete the circle, you want to destroy the ball as quickly as possible and be safe. If you fail to do so, you'll die. If you break the wrong ball, you can't break the wrong ball anyway, so you'll die. So you gotta make sure that you're at the right ball. And finally, it's the patience not found mechanic, which if you've been stunned over and over and over and over again, it's absolutely fucking correct. You'll lose all your damn patience. He'll do this under 50%. Basically, he's going to create 2 clones around him, and all 3 of them will hit the players. So he'll either throw a blue ball at you, which you can iframe such like this. I mean, the moment it goes purple and he looks at you, just iframe basically. Or he's going to teleport you and then spin, which you can also iframe. After that, it just goes back to normal to every single mechanic that I just mentioned. Other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. He'll keep trying to stun you, and if he does, he'll spin. If he teleports back, he'll spin. If he teleports back and stuns you, he'll spin. If he doesn't like you, he'll spin. If you're dumb, he'll spin. If you die, you'll spin. If you spin, he'll spin. Basically, he'll spin. That's the moral of the story here. So yeah, that's Antaroth Abyss normal mode. I think that's the easiest way I can put it for you guys, but if you have any questions about the dungeons, let me know in the comments below. I will help you as much as I can for this dungeon. If you didn't like my guide and if you found it confusing, then look up another. There are many content creators out there that covered this dungeon already for PC or doing this for console, and they're just upcoming content creators. So, you know, I'm not the only one out there. So if you don't like it, there's other people. So make sure to subscribe and click that adorable fucking bell to know when I upload a brand new video. Want to support me even further? Join my Patreon at patreon.com/Sarumonin. Much love, and as always, till next time, friends.